chasing my identity in the future. My new therapist is actually the part of the reason I'm making this update. She thinks that posting this could be a good way to get closure to a certain extent. Through a way of acknowledging what I went through, but also moving on into my new life. Because I one that I'm very excited to experience. So I'm keeping it to the final one. I want to be able to enjoy my life in the future while keeping my privacy. A lot of people share my story and expose my past, but at least for now, it's my story. It's not. It's not me. So I'm asking as nicely as possible that people please respect that. Fully appreciate that. No, I'm safe. I can honestly say that I'm happy. I'm planning out my future, what I want to do with my life, and who I am, besides just a person on camera. So thank you so much for everything. And goodbye. What a good end to that. I'm very happy they're able to actually explore themselves and do who they want to be. If you do have a suspicion of who this might be, please, for the love of God, keep it to yourself. I don't want to see that in the comments. And on a second note, I always wondered what happened to the kids who, back in 2014, they had this whole YouTuber RV life and they went on the road and really got into stuff. It is crazy to think that people who I saw in high school making these ridiculous fucking decisions with their children are now at a point where those children are adults, and that makes me feel old. But, I mean, hey, time happens, and this is definitely roughly what I expected to happen. It's a damn shame that this is. But what's not a damn shame is the fact that OP was actually able to get themselves a solidified future, and they're actually in an environment that's safe and conducive to a proper future. I hope OP finds a college that will work well for them. I'm happy they actually have a family who cares about them, and not just caring about putting them on camera as a spectacle of film for additional ad revenue. With the YouTube Music app, you can blend up to 30 artists into one big custom radio station.
I don't care.
This was gathered by Choice Evidence 1983, and their tagline is "It dawned on me that he was innocent." Maybe you like the taglines, but some of you don't. The original OP is Ario, posted to r/. Posted November 28th, 2024. Am I the asshole for refusing to let my roommate's boyfriend live with us after he tested me? I, 29 female, live with my roommate. Let's call her Ashley. The small apartment. They boasted things were fine at first. At first, he was just but over the past few months, he's basically moved in. Eating our food, using our stuff, and not contributing a single dime to rent or bills. I finally had enough and told Ashley that Jake either needs to start paying his share or start practically living in I thought that was the end of it. Fast forward to last week. I was getting ready to head out to a late night study group where Jake cornered me in the kitchen. He told me he wanted to test me to see if I'd be a good person to live with full time. I was confused. He said that if I wanted him to pay rent, I had to prove I was roommate material. I'm sure I could handle sharing space with someone like him. He then gave me a list of rules he wanted to follow if he officially moved in. Things like doing my share, even though I already make my own meals. Not bringing any guys over, I'm single, why is that a good outfit? And being respectful of his gaming time by keeping the Wi-Fi free during his streams. I laughed at his face and told him there was no way he was moving in. He got pissed and told Ashley I was being unreasonable. She confronted me and said Jake was just testing the waters. Yeah, I should have been more open to the idea. She accused me of being jealous because I'm single and suggested I was trying to sabotage their relationship. Ashley saying if I can't be supportive, then maybe she should get a Uber here. One who respects her relationship. I think this is completely insane, but Ashley and a couple of her friends are siding with Jake. They're calling me selfish and controlling. So for refusing to let him move in after these ridiculous tasks to him. The asshole has no consensus. I don't even see the majority of the assholes with their others. Before we get to the comments, I got some stuff that I gotta put out there. Like, he's definitely spitting his own narrative. The fact alone is he's saying that you can't use the Wi-Fi with the stream is bullshit. The stream is surprise, trust me. I know. Him putting a restriction on whether or not she's able to bring guys over, and also, OP didn't realize this, but him telling her she needs to do her share of cooking, he's not saying that she needs to make her meals. He's saying she needs to cook for him. The guy is garbage. Anyways, relevant comments. Commenter, not the asshole. Go to your landlord and explain the situation. Jake continues to live there. He will be forced to pay rent. Also, remove your name from utilities. If you pay for the Wi-Fi, change the password, and they can buy the whole Wi-Fi. OP responds, will it not risk the whole friendship if I already changed the password? I feel like it would harder to play that. It's so to understand it. Obviously, there's nothing. She's not a friend. She's all good about her boyfriend. Wife responds, I have to admit my home doesn't feel like a safe place. Not even my home. Honestly, I didn't realize how much I was being gaslit by Jake and Ashley until I read some of their insights. I thought they were my friends, but now I see how toxic their behavior really is. Maybe I just hate the thought of not having friends, but who needs enemies with these kind of friends? Not gonna lie, it still breaks my heart to realize this incredible. But that isn't changing either. Come on. I don't know why I'm saying this, it's just been a really emotional few days. Please forgive me. Since our confrontation, Jake is not full. He's been telling mutual friends that I'm trying to ruin his life. Take him out of his girlfriend's apartment. Remind you this man is a rent or contributes to any bills. So calling it his girlfriend's apartment is already laughable. He's been painting me as some controlling, jealous monster who can't handle his straightforward personality. Meanwhile, Ashley is eating it up and unnecessary drama. What's worse is that I've started noticing just how much control Jake has over Ashley. She's completely bought into his narrative and is now acting like I'm the enemy. For example, she told me last night that my attitude is making it hard for them to feel comfortable in their own home. This apartment is 50% mine because she's surrounding me. I'm being treated like I'm the best. I've already done that. His constant presence is freeloading, and now he's smear camping. I'm reaching out to my landlord this week. Most leases have clauses about long-term guests, and Jake has definitely overstayed his. As for Ashley, I don't know if there's any saving our friendship. I'm heartbroken because I thought she did. I realize she's supporting Jake's abusive behavior. Thank you to everyone who opened my eyes to what was really happening. I'll post another update once I've spoken to my landlord and taken further action. For now, I'm just trying to reclaim my space and my peace of mind. Also, I really want to thank you for just caring and being there. This is what I need to hear, and you all were honest and fair with me. I'm very grateful for the support I got that I couldn't get anywhere else. So, thank you. And before we get into the comments, I just want to add that when you're in a relationship like this, where everything on your end seems like it's all roses and sunflowers, and you're taking the partner's word for it, when they're telling you that someone's being the manipulative, controlling one, oftentimes you're going to side with them first because they're your partner. They might do you wrong. And sometimes it's projection, and they're actually isolating you and making you strip. And it can be hard to see that sometimes. That is just general advice. If you ever find yourself yourself in a position where your partner seems to make an enemy out of all of your friends, but none of theirs, take a step back and honestly just analyze the situation, because you might be in a situation where you're being fed one truth from one person that's not actually the truth. Trust me, it's something that I wish I would have gotten. I took someone's word for it, and I found out the hard way that I was being lied to.
Yeah, it happens to all of us.
For instance, it sounds like Jake is actually projecting himself and his own tendencies onto OP here as an attempt to smear them, which is pretty common in relationships like this. Anyways, relative to analyze his own tendencies,
No, so fun.
for what? Good for you. Don't take any more crap from me. Response, I won't. Thank you. OP needs to stand up for herself and get her wins space back. I realized the night after I posted that from a locked door. That was my sign I really needed to listen to advice. Commenter 2. Good luck. Fortunately, Jake seems like a good manipulator, so he might have gotten Ashley. If she's without guilt, it just means that she might have started as a friend, but even if she isn't that now, I will look for your other partner. As long as they're in your life, you're hopeful and fortunate, not missing. So, good luck with everything. He responds, yes, I think she got blinded by love. I am in no place or mood to judge her. I would probably move out and see if my friendship to her can remain. I don't plan to see Jake anymore. Final up, December 9th, 2024. Hi everyone, I just wanted to come back with a final update on everything. It's been a whirlwind, but I can finally say that I'm in a better place, and I'm so grateful to everyone who supported me along the way. After I contacted the situation. Turns out Jake had violated the guest policy in our league's by staying over so often.
Oh gee, no shit, you fucking think.
Jake couldn't stay overnight. And if Ashley wanted to add him to the lease, we'd need to renegotiate everything, including his share of the trying to sabotage her relationship and even someone was acting petty. As the reality of the situation set in, something shifted. I think for the first time, she saw how much Jake's presence had disrupted our life and how much it would hurt. To my surprise, Ashley apologized. She admitted that she had been blinded by her feelings for Jake and hadn't considered how unfair her actions were. She said she needed to reevaluate things with him and ask for some space to think. Over the next week, Jake stopped coming over. Ashley and I had a long, heartfelt conversation. For the first time in weeks, it felt like I was talking to my old friend again. She admitted that Jake's controlling behavior wasn't sitting right with her anymore, and she had felt like she'd been losing herself trying to please him. And here's the best part. Ashley broke up with Jake. She realized he was manipulative and toxic, not just to me, but to her as well. She thanked me for staying my ground and helping her see the situation clearly. We're still working on rebuilding our friendship, and things feel so much lighter now that he's out of the picture. The apartment is peaceful, and I even started rebuilding the space for more like it. Ashley and I are taking things one day at a time, but we both agreed to prioritize communication, respect, and forward. I know not every story ends this way, but I'm grateful that one did. Thank you to everyone who encouraged me to stand up for myself. It made all the difference. Without you, I would be living in hell. Yes, I kept the lock up. Top comments. Commenter. It's wonderful that your friendship with Ashley has been salvaged.
What?
Committed to building a healthy
Oh!
Enjoy your peaceful apartment.
That was not intentional.
Ashley because sometimes everything reconciliation. If there ever will be anything, the best advice you can give, find yourself for some reason you're always at odds with your relationship. You might want to reevaluate things. Trust me. Please. As for OP, I verify the things you love. It seems like your boyfriend has been removed from the equation. Something which matters to itself out. Thank God. Just those terms of her not being able to have a boyfriend.
You guys okay? Okay.
That is just there are so many weird implications attached to that, to his insecurities that I can't even really begin to unravel that. 40 not of a problem. Holy hell. This post was collected by Direct Category 77, originally posted r/advice. Image of OP is you/weird. Posted December 1st, 2024. Do I tell my wife the truth after 11 years? When we first got dated, my girlfriend asked me what my favorite meal was, so she could cook it for me for our 1-month anniversary. We were 16, and I told her my favorite meal was chicken parmesan. She cooked it for me from scratch, and it was delicious. However, I realized that what I meant is that chicken Alfredo, and I felt bad that she would not really cook, and that was my favorite meal. So I didn't include her or myself. Fast forward now, we've been together for 11 years, and married for 2 years. And once a month or so, she still makes chicken parmesan for me because she thinks it's my favorite. It's good. But it's really just my favorite. At this point, it's way too late to tell her the truth, right? Comments. Corbin here don't care. If my husband said, I love you, or cheating on him, I pretended to sleep with. I said the wrong meal that day, and for years I've held on to that because I was touched with it. I meant chicken Alfredo. I couldn't hold it anymore. I would love to try it from you. Yes, he talks like that. I would probably laugh my ass off for 20 minutes if he's been stressed by his mistake this long. Funny stories are the best part of a long life together. Comments, 928. Laughing, crying, monkey, laughing, crying, monkey. Yes, I think so. I think now you must eat that stuff for the rest of your fucking life. I'm dying laughing. Opie responds with sweating, smiling emoji, sweating, smiling emoji. Glad I can prove joy. Update 9 days later, December 10th, 2024. Update. I'm glad my travesty brought so many of you joy. I apologize for taking so long to update you all, but I was vexed with a life-altering decision and needed the way of the responses I received. I ultimately decided to tell my wife the truth. I'm not sure I made the right decision after all because I am far more embarrassed now than I ever was embarrassed. I have never seen my wife laugh the way she did that night. Just when I thought she was done laughing, she would start up all over again. We now have this incredible inside joke for the rest of our lives together. Huge thank you to everyone who called for their advice. This one was just so goddamn wholesome and so relatable that I just had to repeat it. And when I say it's relatable, I mean that I'd be the dumbass that would make this mistake and hold on to it for 11 fucking years out of pure shame. This is just such an incredibly sweet post because one, the wife will care for her forever. And that's just standard procedure at this point. For 11 years, he put his own favorite meal on hold because he was so touched by how his wife would effort into making him a chicken parmesan because he made the mistake of getting it too mixed up. When she does make the chicken Alfredo, it actually slaps really goddamn hard. Because damn, that would suck. The real tragedy is she can make a perfect chicken parmesan, but the wife could not make a chicken Alfredo. That would be the real tragedy. And if that is the case, so you have to go no contact and end that relationship as per the way of friend. That's just how it is. I don't think rules. That's a joke. Don't actually ever do that. Howdy everyone and welcome to the outro. There's currently a free gift. Don't actually ever do that. Howdy everyone and welcome to the outro. There's currently a free gift with purchase going on with GamerStop. If you buy a tub, you can get a shaker, a shirt, looks like a stocking or a mouse pad, a jug, or even a nice comfy sweater, as well as many other goodies. You just take it for yourself. This is limited to while supplies last. And I will say their merch is definitely this game. While Steve went to Snap and they welcome to r/nuclear revenge, where a guy screws a dog. Our next one is a bonus. I'll be honest, the story isn't my childhood. Alex and Steve. My mother is originally from a small town in the coastal region of my country. She left when she married my dad, but 2 sisters stayed in the town. That's my youngest aunt. Steve is the son of my oldest. They moved to a big city, college, but took way different paths. Alex went into an art for his career, and after 2 semesters came out as gay, while Steve went to STEM and bathed himself in the mud. She macho/homophobic culture of the region. You can guess they weren't exactly close, and as far as gossip goes, they pretty much hated each other. As far as Alex's sexuality went, it was a well-known secret among the cousins and his brothers, all teens and young adults, people with social media, basically. But it was never acknowledged in front of my grandma, the other adults, or even his own parents. Now, let's get to the drama that unfolded December 2017 at our family's Christmas party that, as always, took place in my grandma's old townhouse. By midnight, Steve was drunk and looking for a fight, and he thought Alex would be the perfect friend. While these are the exact words, I could say this was the statement he shouted in the middle of the dance floor. Hey, Alex, where's your girlfriend? I don't see her around. Oh, yeah, you don't have to. Why is that? Hey, Auntie, you know why your son didn't bring a girlfriend? Haven't you heard? Oh, that's because he's a sissy F-word. He screws guys, or not. He lets them screw him, like the little D-word he is. Alex was speechless, and so was the rest of the music played. But before someone could even say something against Alex, he threw the bomb. At least I screw with humans, but let's not forget that your first girlfriend was the neighbor's dog. You even tried to force me to screw her once, didn't you? Oh, hell went loose. You see, in this particular area of my country, there's the extended myth that some men, especially teenagers, commit bestiality with donkeys. And in rural areas, it's not entirely untrue. But it's obviously never spoken that openly or casually, especially when there are outsiders present. Outsiders like Steve's girlfriend from college, whom he denied. The poor girl literally threw up in the middle of the party while she started soothing herself and crying like there was no tomorrow. To make an already long story a little shorter, my dad doesn't drink. I offered to take her back to the city. We left the party in the middle of the shouting, punches, someone fainting at some point, and whatnot. But I wouldn't post this here. The story ended. Steve's now ex-girlfriend told what had happened to her city friends, to her parents, and basically anyone who would like to hear it. Steve was already known as a dog all around the campus before he even came back from vacation, and his social life crumbled to dust. There was also a lot of cyberbullying involved, and he ended up quitting the university. He went back to his hometown, and is currently the owner of a bar. He also married a local woman, if anyone wonders what happened to his love life. On the other hand, Alex ended school and he stayed in the city as a designer. His homosexuality was basically known by everyone for obvious reasons, and he's in fact my very good grandma's favorite grandson. The funny part of it all, with time, this has basically been swept under the rug in my family. We still hold Christmas parties at the old townhouse. Alex and Steve keep their distance, but can actually speak to each other without murderous intent, and we all agreed to forget what happened in December 2017. We all forget, except for OP, who decides to publish it on one of the world's most popular websites. Also, down in the comments, John Cial asks what I was thinking. So wait, did your cousin actually screw a donkey? Or was everyone just willing to accept that it was something he'd do? And OP replies, I think he was quite shocked and drunk at the moment. And he forgot that he could, lie. And instead, he started saying things like, I can explain to his girlfriend. So, yeah, he basically admitted to doing it. How do you even explain that? What's the explanation? Well, I heard someone tell me that when you get laid, you get a piece of ass. And donkeys are called asses, so I thought, I'll just screw with a donkey. Someone told me that you can ride donkeys, and I was like, wait a second, does he mean ride as in screw? I guess there's only one way to find out. Our next Reddit post is from a child. This is more my grandfather's nuclear option. My aunt on my father's side is the definition of a piece of she used people and is plainly only out for herself. Damn the consequences. My grandmother and grandfather are her adoptive parents. Their own list of issues like anyone, but they were good people. Salt of the earth types. They've always tried to do what was right and help however they could. This led to my grandparents bailing out my aunt and filing her bankruptcy on a couple of occasions
to, my grandfather, shortly after, sold the house of land about a 3-hour drive to Oregon State. I was 15 at the time, and it caused toxicity for this really dark shadow of the whole family in my eyes. In my youth, I didn't realize at the time that my grandfather was away to get away from his own daughter. I dropped my grandfather and demanded things. I regret that to this day. Refusing to interact with my mom also hindered contact with my cousin. Anyhow, a few years later, my grandfather reached out to me and my cousin, asking us to come visit. We did. It was a great time. We reconnected. My aunt years go by. I still couldn't get over myself, and once again, no other contact with my times. About 6 years ago, my cousin calls me, saying that my grandfather is living with him now, and that he has dementia. And he probably wrong. I was out of state at the time, so I booked the very next flight I could and raced to see him. My grandfather recognized me and called me by a good name. That was the last time I ever saw him alive. He died early in the morning a couple of days later. My cousin my grandmother had already set up a almost several years prior. All we had to do was sign some papers. And it was supposed to be and my aunt to sign on as well. So as much as I hated the idea, we warned the director that she would try to change things and not let that happen. Because she couldn't be the difference anymore. For the board, bring the meeting to my aunt, she packed the casket, submitted to father was a needy man before he died, but he never saw it. My grandfather was a simple guy and always chose that she was not doing it. The funeral director took it all in stride and said that the difference was something like $16,000. And looked directly at her and said she would take cashier's checks. The look on her face was priceless. After the service, my cousin found my grandfather. So in another family, this time my grandfather's longtime wife, my grandfather left behind his house and land to be sold, and the proceeds to be donated to charities after any debts owed. Say what you know. A little over $55,000 got donated to several charities in his name. Also left nearly all of his other belongings to my cousin to split with me as he saw fit. He left my aunt $10 to be paid on the end of his death. Later, it was explained to me so that she wouldn't have to memorize the challenge of the will. If you don't name a living immediate family member, they can challenge the will through some legal process. I found out as well that he also sold the graveyard plot reserved for her and my dad and my grandparents. I saw my aunt about a month ago, looking like she may be homeless and obviously on drugs of some sort. I felt nothing but contempt, and maybe a little shunned for it. Our next recommendation, Pure Pepper. To clear any confusion that might come up, you have to know that I'm a bisexual man. I will share your story
There we go.
because I'm still proud of you. A few years ago, my ex-girlfriend cheated on me with another guy. She didn't have the audacity to tell me but she lost any feelings for me and is fully in love with the new guy now. If she hadn't said that, I probably wouldn't have made this plan. But now, I had to teach her a valuable lesson. I was in a depressed state for a long time and couldn't bring myself to leave her friend back. She started to send me pictures of her and her new boyfriend with laughing emojis. She didn't even care about how much she had hurt me. And then one day, while I went through Tinder, I found someone who was quite familiar. Her new boyfriend. Of course, I wouldn't tell her that my boyfriend is on Tinder. In fact, I matched with him, which was quite surprising because I thought that he was straight, and we started having a conversation. He didn't know who I was. My ex never told him that she was in a relationship while she was flirting with him. But this was perfect. We had longer conversations. He told me more and more about him. Over the week, we learned more and more about each other. And now, I had a plan. I suggested that we would meet each other at a bar. He agreed, Keep in mind, he was still in a relationship with my ex-girlfriend at that time. When we met, we had a great time, and one date became many dates. It took me a few months,
Nope.
but then I got him to the point where he developed feelings for me, and I was his affair partner. What he didn't know is I got in contact with my girlfriend's former ex-boyfriend as well. He broke up with her because he came out as gay. I was in contact with both guys. The ex-boyfriend and I got along very well. In fact, I made him a close friend of mine. In our conversation with my new boyfriend, we talked about sexual desires, and he told me he always wanted to have a threesome. We're about to see if these two antiperspirants can stand up to this. That's it. So I suggested in our ex-boyfriend. I knew that he was his type because we kind of look alike, and he had feelings for me. So I asked the gay ex-boyfriend if he wanted to become the third one, and to my surprise, he said yes. Then the action. Of course, I won't go into any details, but man, I enjoyed it more than anything. A few days after this, I told him that now that I granted him the wish of a threesome, I wanted something in return. I told him that I don't want to be in an affair any longer, and told him that he should either break up with her or I'll break up with him. I knew that this was hardcore manipulative, but I had a plan, and I had full control over him. He actually broke up with her and threw her out. I even got him to move out of his apartment to move in with me, meaning that she lost her home and her boyfriend. But I wasn't, because after that, she texted me with crying emojis that her boyfriend dumped her and that she regrets leaving. I then said, "You're a boyfriend. Are you talking about this guy?" And I sent the selfie I took. She called and texted me several times, but I ignored her. My plan was almost successful. There were only 3 things left that I still had to do. The first was I told her mother, who hates infidelity more than anything because her father cheated on her mother with another woman. You could say, like father, like daughter. Her mother was angry, but thanked me for telling her. I've heard her mother cut ties with her, but I admit that I don't know if that actually happens. And I don't think that it happens. But it would be funny if it was true. The second thing I did was dumping him because, unfortunately for him, he was a cheater too. Infidelity as well. The last thing I did was the gay ex-boyfriend. And after a few dates, we got together and we're still a couple. In the end, I destroyed both her and the guy she cheated on me with, and couldn't be more proud with myself. Well, OP, your ex-girlfriend certainly has a type. Closeted gay man. I next tried to post it from Melbourne. I live with my mom. Quiet, keeps to herself, never bothers anyone. A few months ago, our neighbor decided to order to the city a legal shed in the backyard. It was total BS. The shed's been there for years and has full permits. An inspector came out, checked everything, and left without saying a word. But the neighbor, smug, proud, thought he'd scared us. So I did a little digging. Turns out his brand new pool was way too close to the property line and illegally built over utility easements. I reported him, attached photos, quoted city codes. 2 weeks later, this was impossible. Poor Philadelphia. He lost the whole thing. $40,000 down the drain. Now he gets to look at our completely legal shed every day while standing over a pile of dirt where his pool used to be. Mom sleeps great now. That was r/nuclear revenge. And if you like this content, check out my podcast where I publish the exact same episodes. Also, hit that subscribe button because I put out new Reddit videos every single day.
Brad Pringles. Guitar Hero is something that's always been a big part of my life. Ever since I was a little kid, I've been obsessed with this game. It's changed the man I've grown up to become, and I am truly... None of that was true. I literally didn't play the shit of my life. It just seemed clickbaity. So, but... You really can't play Guitar Hero on PC, so actually... fucking dots and shit. It's the same shit. Okay, let's jump in and I'll have a play, I guess. I'll just have something easy,
Peaceful day? That's a start. You like it? You fucking explain shit. Now, now I'm getting it. No, I'm not. Help. I'm gonna go. Oh, wow, that was great. So, that happened. 1 star out of like 10? Why there's so many stars? That's rude, honestly. Peaceful day. I really wish I could have threatening aura, but whatever.
Oh, I'm so dumb.
Okay, motivation is established. Why is there a wall here? That's ominous. Stuff never just appears here without there being a reason. What's up, pussies? I know it's Drip Bullet. We've got new merch at coatbulletshop.com. Look, check it out. We got these embroidered Coat Bullet hoodies and crew necks. These are really cool. They're clean as fuck. And we got a neon Coat Bullet long sleeve.
Is that... Wait. Oh, sweet.
I fucking love this one. I don't know how to describe it, but here it is. It's beautiful. Also, we got this cute little Coat Bullet guy. So happy we got him on a hat and a t-shirt. Oh yeah, that's my merch. I've been working on this in the background for like 6 months.
Is that everything?
But I really wanted a shop that I was happy with. So it was, yeah, it'd been a lot if you guys went
I think that's everything.
Thank you back to the video. Pull it out. And can I have a cheeky vent? I mean, it's my video, so you can't fucking stop me. But what the fuck is this game? First of all, it took me legitimately 10 minutes to figure out how to even choose the UI. But the arrow keys don't do shit. None of the buttons connected to the lanes do anything. The stream doesn't do anything. The mouse doesn't do anything. The face just brings up the controls, which is just a list of all the buttons which don't apparently do anything. But the trick to it, the secret fucking jutsu is you gotta press enter before you unlock the main UI. Fucking wonderful work that is. Classic game. Oh my god, how the fuck are you supposed to play this shit? So you got A, S, J, K, and now this. You normally do pretty tough. And the other thing is, one key for us. On the paper, maybe have to up a little bit, put them on the B at the end. That's also not bad. What do you mean? Look how far this shit is. They might as well be on fucking Namek. I don't understand. Like, actually, what the fuck do you want me to do? What asshole? You can't reach the other key. Am I supposed to press all 5 keys with my left hand? You can't. That's not how hands work. Like, what do you want from me?
Oh,
Sorry. Oh, sorry. That's okay. It's probably fine. They probably just expected everyone to have the guitar thingy. Okay, let's just move on. Let's just... Oh, right. It's coming. Okay, the plan is pretty simple. We just need to rapidly take screenshots. Snobby thing near the dismiss. So yeah, to do that, we're gonna need a script which can take screenshots. And a script which can control the keyboard. Very nice. Okay, I want to test this shit out. Let's get some points on the board. What happens if we just spam the J key? Good stuff. Good. Oh wait, yeah, turns out you actually press the J key. Oh no, hey, stop it. Look at him go! Wow, I did not expect it to be that effective. He's crushing it. Easy video. Oh, yep, didn't need that one. That's okay. Well left. One key is good. Now, the obvious question is, what happens if we spam all? No. Nice work, lads. Crushing it. Oh, we got one. And we're back to missing them all. That's okay. You've done enough. You've done your hard work. Okay, yeah, that didn't work at all. Nah, damn, that would have made the video way easier. Okay, so let's actually look at the screen, because it turns out that's important. We actually don't need the entire screen. Most of it is just useless bullshit, and the bigger a screenshot we take, the less efficient our algorithm is. So we have to minimize the screen region we're looking at to the smallest amount possible. And it turns out the only area we're actually interested in is this area right here, where the numbers hit the number receivers, or whatever the fuck they call it. So the question becomes, how do we detect numbers? And what we could do is we could say, okay, the numbers over here are green, let's check for green pixels here, let's check for red pixels here, let's check for blue over there. But that shit is overkill, and frankly, I can't be fucked doing that. And really, all we need to do is check, not if there's a certain color in that row, but just check if there's anything in that row. As long as something isn't the background, then that's something we're gonna need to click. And luckily for us, the background is pretty much just black and grey. The simple way to do this is to check if any of the pixels RGB values are over 150, and that pretty much means it's not black and it's not grey, and therefore it's a thing, and it's exactly the thing. And get it? It's not that hard. Okay, so we're testing it out for the furthest left key, A key. There should be
be printing up false when there isn't something in the row and true when there is something in the row. But I'm just looking at this visual now, and honestly, it's fucking useless. This is nothing. That's all it's a waste of time. Just trust me, it's fine. It's true. It's all for the day. So yeah, but yeah, let's move on. Now we can most get it.
Ah, shit. Okay. Motherfucker! Mother, what? Okay. Okay, got it.
Also hate honey because it's just so damn easy to use. You just
I think.
same places where you're buying stuff and the honey pops out. Yo, free money. I recently went to PokemonShop.com and picked up this dope bag, and I was like, that's all super price. It's such a good product. There's no way to get cheaper. And that was 50% off. Wow, making money. Wow, it's a very unbiased and believable story. That is a real story, by the way. That is not a joke. First 50 people that use the code HONEY10 get 10% off my store and get it money. It's free money. What if you why? Actually, why? This is fine. Do it.
That's not correct.
Just click it, click add to chrome, done, easy, money, you're welcome. Okay, sorry, I got okay, we'll check out all of this for now. Alright, go.
Ah. Hmm. Alright, I'm just gonna...
Welcome to r/Instagram updates, where OP's boyfriend tries something in the bedroom, which puts OP in the hospital, where his goes from r/Ice. I'm a 27-year-old, and my ex, 26-year-old guy, dumped me in January after 9 years together because he didn't think that I was playing with her. Now, he
Ooh.
reached out wanting to talk because he needs to get something off his chest. Or if I should be details, but for the last 9 years, I lost my ex, Nate. He was my world. Everything I did was for him. Depression, I can work 2 jobs so that he can focus on college for 3 years because they didn't agree with the major or college. So bear in mind, I was also a college student. His parents started talking to him. Nate said that he wanted me to quit my job. I didn't because it was his turn to take care of me. For 16 months,
Makes sense.
everything was great. He spoiled me. Then I noticed that he was more interested in his new friends. At times, he ignored me completely. Back in December, he didn't want me, and he love-bombed me the whole month. He really went out of his way to make Christmas magical for me. I honestly believe he proposed on January 7th. He made my life together. It made this speech, his first love, how I've been there since high school. And I kept thinking, how he's going to ask me to marry him. But no, he dumped me. As his speech went on, the world fell apart. As much as
I
he
missed.
basically said, you were a good girlfriend. You'll always be a girlfriend. I don't think you as my wife or the mother of my children. Blah, blah, blah. You served your purpose. Now I don't need you anymore. I need someone on
Oh my lord, dude.
I couldn't speak, and he stared at me looking for a response. I think this lasted 20 minutes before he said that he would sleep in the guest room and left. I just ordered cardboard boxes online. The next day, I waited for the apartment. Before I left my room, I called my boss and asked, "Hey, room, transfer anywhere else?" She told me there wasn't, but something came up in my apartment she considered. I didn't know what I knew wasn't also Nate's friend for a place to stay. My cousin invited me to stay in her spare room for as long as I needed, and I could move it straight away. So that was amazing. In the 4 days it took me to pack my stuff, how I didn't see or speak to Nate, how I even noticed. I didn't trust myself at the time to ignore a text, so I wanted to be everyone close to him. I even changed my number and email to make sure he couldn't reach me. The first night at my cousin's was the night that everything hit me. I think I cried every night the first month. I honestly felt like garbage. I thought about what Nate said over and over again. It made me feel so low, like I was nothing. He only stayed with me because I was just me. But thankfully, my cousins and my mom, other cousins, and my real friends to give me intervention, which I valued. I believe that I wouldn't have made it through the years without my cousin. I thought by now that I'd be a distant memory. Hours to my job today for my birthday was on Sunday. Apparently, he went to my parents' house looking for me too, and my mom admitted that he's been dropping stuff off and tried to ask questions about me, but they told him to F off. The flowers
Good.
came with a card saying, "Dear Cassie, happy belated birthday. I've been thinking about you non-stop for the last few months. Everything ended. I need to get something off my chest that I feel will haunt me for the rest of my life. If I don't tell this to your face, I have no way of contacting you. So, if it's possible, can we meet up again?" It's haunting him that he needs to say to my face. Everyone in my life is telling me to ignore him, but I hate him. I'm torn, but I can't lie. My curiosity is telling me to meet him to see what he has to say. Then, the next day, Opie posted an update. He came to my work today looking for me during lunchtime. I told him to called him right over the coworker, so I went to meet him and run into me by accident. Then, 5 minutes later, Opie posted another update. So, we ended up meeting, and no, I didn't go to him. So, apparently, Nate just kept going to my usual places, like the grocery store I go to every Saturday evening, calling me, so I thought to myself everything would be pear-shaped and accomplished. So I just sat down and asked him what he wanted. He gave an apology that wasn't a He blamed his mental health, his job, his parents, his friends, everyone but himself. I took someone's advice on here and said, cut the BS. I already know everything. He genuinely looked shocked and stared at me for a second. I guess he thought that his coworker couldn't lie. Here's what really happened. He fell for a girl in his office. When he told me her name, I knew her immediately. I met her a few times. He told me that for the past 2 years he couldn't lie. Here's what really looked shocked and stared at me for a second. I guess he thought that his coworker already told me everything, so he couldn't lie. Here's what really happened. He fell for a girl in his office. When he told me her name, I knew her immediately. I met her a few times. He told me that for the past 2 years, he idolized her. To be fair, she's beautiful with an amazing personality. And he hated me because I was the one stopping them from being together. His coworker was too. Well, here's where it gets funny. She doesn't even like him. Well, she called him a piece of trash and told him if he ever spoke to her outside of work, she'd report him to HR. So I asked him, what does any of this have to do with me? Like, we're over. I clearly cut ties. There's no reason for us to speak. He wants to try again and promised that we would get married before the year's end. That we belong together. I told him I'm nobody's second choice, and he threw me away after 9 years and said some pretty cool things to me. And now he thinks if he snaps his fingers, I'll come running back. He tried to beg and fake tears, bringing up the good times in our relationship. I told him to please leave me alone, as he wasted too much time. Alright, I texted my cousin to meet me in the coffee shop. He kept saying nonsense, even suggesting that if I went to couples counseling for a few months, then he would leave me alone for the 20 minutes it took for my cousin to arrive. In the end, I just stopped listening and stood at the counter making soup. Please doesn't tell my cousin. My cousin told him to F off, and that if he tried to follow us, she would call our brothers. He stayed in the coffee shop as far as I knew, and we just went home. That's it. Another classic tale of Loki's partner falling for a coworker. Okay, fine, whatever. I read that story a bajillion times. What I don't understand is, why would you end a 9-year relationship in such an awful way? No, logically you'd have some sort of feelings or love or positive emotions.
Compassion.
So why treat them like trash? And I just say, hey, I'm sorry, but it's not working. She's going to need to drag them through the mud on the way out. I think Oakley dodged a bullet here. He's a cheater, and on top of that, just kind of a scum. Heads up on this story, I try not to go too graphic with the stories, especially when it comes to bedroom activities, and I was about to skip over this post, but honestly, it's pretty interesting, so this is going to be a bit racier than I normally go. Fair. Our next Reddit post comes from r/truth. My ex-fiance entered me via typing butt stuff without preparation or consent. My confession is that I'm too embarrassed to tell people what happened. Me and my boyfriend were having conventional intercourse, and he was behind me. He claims he missed, he used that exact word, and he got me in the butt twice. No lube, no preparation, and I had not consented to butt stuff. He had been bugging me to do it, but I always said no. The pain was so bad that I fainted the second time in. I ended up bleeding, and with a huge bruise on my face, I smacked the headboard and fainted. Because of the bruise on my face, everyone thought that I ended up in the hospital because of it. I've said that isn't what happened, but it just made everyone think that I'm covering for him, even though we did break up. I'm so embarrassed to tell everyone what happened, especially my parents and grandparents, but everyone else too. It was embarrassing enough for the medics, doctors, and nurses was still so ashamed that I didn't tell my family or anyone else the true story about what happened. I only told the hospital staff.
I like this.
Waking up in the hospital was scary, but hospital staff, the police, and social workers were so kind. Even when I posted here the first time, I was still in denial about what happened. Due to my injuries, the hospital automatically went by the news. The police treated this as domestic violence lots of times, and I really don't mind it all, deciding to press charges. I found out that's a pity. Only the police can charge someone. And if there's a domestic violence situation, the police don't ask opinions of the victim, since the victim will often cover for the abuser or try to have the charges dropped. I wasn't given any choice in him being charged. I'm going to stop real quick. This is kind of interesting because OP is not right. It is true that if someone commits a crime, you can't decide or not decide to press charges. That is absolutely myth. But OP is wrong that it's not the police to press charges, it's the district attorney, the government, the victim. The police charge people once they think they have enough evidence of the crime. Also, when cops ask if they might press charges, what they mean is, are you willing to testify if this goes to court? Anyways, back to the story. My ex-fiance was arrested. He faced 2 charges over what he did to me. Separately from that, he was charged with lying to the police. He was put on a no-contact order for me when he got arrested. He was given bail first. His bail was canceled after a few months. It's a standard condition for everyone on bail to give their passport to the police. He told the police that he didn't have a passport, but then they found out that he had plane tickets for a relative's wedding over in the United States, which required a passport since it's international travel. He felt that it wasn't worth it because he bought a return ticket too, but since he wasn't in the country, he had to tell police that he didn't have a passport and was asked to surrender it. His bail was canceled. Except for when I testified in court. The police and a social worker kept me up to date about his bail and everything else. I haven't had any contact from him since our argument in the hospital. He was convicted on all charges he faced, so he has a criminal record and is also a sex offender. I won't lie about how testifying in court was the worst day of my life. Our neighbors called for an ambulance because of the commotion, so a lot of people on our street saw me naked. I saw one of those neighbors at court. It was really humiliating to have to talk about everything in front of so many strangers, but I'm doing much better. This dude had watched way too much adult content. Basically just slip it in the back door, no prep, no lube. Dude, are you nuts? Well, whatever he is, he's now a sex offender. That was r/best updates. This content, check out my podcast where I publish the exact same episodes. Also, hit that subscribe button because I put out new Reddit videos every single day. Welcome back, everyone. Oz here. And I've got some R/Traumatized and back for you all. As per usual, the post giving you my opinions, and I hope you do the same in the comments below. And without further ado, let's jump right into it. Apart Stick 8228. Cashier joked about me falling, and I took him down. Please bear with me as years later. When I was 10 years old, my instant crossed and broke. It was bad enough at times as it took a few months for the doctors to understand what caused it. When you walk on a broken road, months is a long time. 10 years pass and I'm supposed to be healthy, but my hip still hurts. And soon enough, it's just getting worse and worse. I'm just floating between tests and specialists, and no one can figure out what it is, as I'm no longer able to walk or even stand up without hands. It was a dark place. I was constantly swallowing opium like candies and warning my wife, as it seemed I would definitely lose the ability to walk. In addition, the books I got when they used priority seats in public transportation was rough. I guess I was too young to be disabled. One day, I'm doing some groceries, a rare happening as most of the time I'm into the thing. As I'm paying, cash and smile quietly, the most paternalistic voice says, "Oh, now, I always used to people who normally ask me what was my problem, but the way he said it, like I was a poor little thing that had a minor injury, was making a big deal out of it. I just looked him dead in the eyes and said, "No, I'm burning the crust, and you don't know. Walk again." His face was and said, months ago as I finally found a surgeon who took my case, did the right tests and right surgery, and with a little metal in my mouth, I should be able to walk for at least 30 more years. But I often think about this cashier. Oh, he'll know to think twice before asking those types of questions. Definitely glad the LP's doing a lot better, because having a bone going through necrosis sounds honestly like fucking hell. I honestly can't even imagine dealing with that and just having someone go, oh, did you fall in your bathtub? While you're literally dealing with your bone fucking decaying inside your body. Oh, what a sad person just mocks someone's injury. Even if over-exaggerated, is that really worth the risk taken? Because, good God, dude. Leading knowledge 712. Are you sure you want me to post a review of your medical practice? This happened a few years ago, after a lifetime of excellent vision. I couldn't even read the big E on the eye chart with that eye. Now my other eye had normal vision. I consulted an eye doctor who did all the tests and said I had a large cataract in that eye and needed surgery, but everything else was totally normal. I then consulted a cataract surgeon who had a bunch of good reviews, including several that said he'd saved their eyesight by alerting them to glaucoma that they didn't know they had. This will be important. When I went for my appointment, I felt doubtful about him due to a slightly disorganized office and having to wait an hour past my appointment time. During the evaluation, I found him rather handsy, repeatedly touching my knees until I started holding my cell phone up in front of them to block his touch. He said that I
Astigmatism?
drives inside his van, and my husband would chauffeur him around. More importantly, his opinions about my vision and what needed to be done were the exact opposite of the other eye doctor. He contended that I needed cataract surgery in both eyes, advised a type of lens that costs $9,000 above what Medicare will pay, and also diagnosed me with glaucoma, advising a $2,800 surgery for that. When I pointed out that another eye doctor said I didn't have glaucoma because the intraocular pressure in my eyes had measured normally earlier, he again tried to fondle my consider. Apparently, he got some information. He then instructed me to see girls in the office to schedule nearly 12K worth of surgeries. I said, as soon as I got in my car, his office texted me asking for instead, I went to my doctor the next day with an opinion after a comprehensive exam. He didn't have glaucoma and just needed cataract surgery in the eye with terrible vision. And then I could get it with no out-of-pocket costs with my Medicare. Meanwhile, Dr. Kansas' office had spamming texts and emails. They were shocked when I posted in detail about the experiences on all the doctor review sites as well as Yelp, and added that I wondered if any financial motives played any role in the high rates of bias glaucoma diagnosis. I added that I needed for cataract surgery and contacted by 3 months later a number of people who read my reviews, namely for more Dr. Hansen, and asked for the name of the surgeon I chose instead. As it turns out, she did a fantastic job, and I now have excellent vision again. Honestly, I think Dr. Hansen should probably for malpractice or whatever licensing just to by the sounds of it, just a licensing patients that magically seem to all have glaucoma. And that's of course not mentioning the shitty patients and patients and sexist manner. Right. How's it we can show for people? Definitely don't hesitate to avoid assassin. And also, it's also just good general knowledge that sometimes it isn't really the same. You never know. One doctor might say one thing, sometimes it just it lies and say that you know what? That's action. Still, if something doesn't seem right, says, our department fought my free accommodation because she didn't see So she claimed it was related to despite admitting that I was rather at home, obviously, accommodations opposite. I was which didn't give me enough time to remember. I saw her once since then, she had thought Dennis said she was glad that I taking care of myself. That's when I told her I was explicit when working in the office. I took my surgery. She's waiting about 5 for 6 weeks. God damn, gotta love these accommodations. They do that with 3-day work from home accommodation because that'll help them with the recovery. Because, you know, being at work for long, that will simply just aggravate their injury and maybe.